The power of making your own illusion breaking tool. Tools don't break illusions. You do. But when you create a tool with intention, your clarity becomes amplified. Across cultures, people crafted their own spiritual tools not because the object held the power, but because the act of creation awakened something inside them, a deeper honesty, a sharper intuition, a willingness to see what's real. When you make your own illusion-breaking tool, whether it's this melt, a candle, a charm, or a ritual, you're not trying to expose anything outside yourself. You're activating the part of you that already knows the truth, the part that recognizes distortion the moment it appears, the part that refuses to shrink back into old stories. You're telling your spirit, I'm ready to see clearly. I'm ready to trust what I know. That's why these tools work. Not because they override your intuition, and not because they force awakening, but because they reflect your inner sight back to you without distortion, without noise, without illusion. This melt isn't the source of your clarity. You are. The melt simply amplifies the truth, the discernment, and the inner vision already alive within you. The vision that rises the moment you stop doubting what you feel and start trusting what you see. Break the illusion's wax melt. The creation process. You will need the following to create your own Break the Illusion's wax melt. 12 ounces of beeswax pellets, 2 tablespoons of organic, unrefined virgin coconut oil, 80 drops of frankincense essential oil, 60 drops of peppermint essential oil, and 100 drops of lavender essential oil. 6 teaspoons each of lapis lazuli, amethyst, smoky quartz, and black obsidian, 6 helichrysum flowers, 12 to 18 calendula petal blooms, and 12 to 18 peony buds. This recipe makes 6 large melts that can be cut into quarters for extended use. Everything I use is linked in the description box, and I do make a small commission if you buy through the links. Step 1. Prepare your workspace, where clarity begins. Set up your wax warmer or hot plate in a well-ventilated area. Lay out your pot, thermometer, molds, stones, and botanicals. Pre-measure your essential oils so the process flows with intention. Illusion breaking doesn't begin in the wax. It begins in your presence. Clarity rises when your energy is steady, grounded, and honest. Step 2. Melt the beeswax, softening what was once rigid. Add 12 ounces of beeswax to your pot and melt it over low to medium heat, around 145 to 160 degrees Fahrenheit. Beeswax melts slowly on purpose. It teaches you the first truth of illusion breaking. Clarity comes when rigidity softens. As it liquefies, let the golden wax mirror your own unveiling. The way truth rises when you stop forcing, stop racing, and simply allow. Keep the temperature steady, never above 180 degrees Fahrenheit. Too much heat burns the wax and dulls the oils. Clarity doesn't come from pressure. It comes from patience. Step 3. Add coconut oil. Once the wax reaches 160 degrees Fahrenheit, remove it from the heat and add 2 tablespoons of coconut oil. This softens the final melt and helps it release from the mold. It's the reminder that truth doesn't land in a rigid mind, it lands in a softened one. Step 4. Infuse the essential oils. Breath of clarity. Let the wax cool to 135 to 140 degrees Fahrenheit, the temperature where essential oils stay potent and alive. Then add 80 drops of frankincense for elevation and spiritual authority, 60 drops of peppermint for mental clarity and breaking loops, and 100 drops of lavender, to help the nervous system calm, and for truth integration. Let the scent rise like a clearing wind, a breath that says, I'm ready to see, I'm ready to release distortion, I'm ready to trust my sight. This is where the melt shifts from ingredients to intention. Step 5. Prepare the molds. Build the clarity altar. Before pouring, prepare each mold like a small altar of truth. Into each cavity, add 1 teaspoon each of lapis lazuli for truth and inner vision, amethyst for purification and higher sight, smoky quartz for grounding and releasing distortion, 1 teaspoon of black obsidian for honesty and shadow clarity, 3 to 4 calendula blooms for illumination, and 2 to 4 peony buds for softening the ego. And finally, 1 helichrysum bloom for emotional unbinding. These botanicals and stones don't just decorate, they anchor the melt in clarity, honesty, and unveiling. This is where the melt becomes a tool, not just because of what it looks like, but because of the energy you're placing into it. Step 6. Pour the wax. The first layer of seeing. Pour a thin layer of wax into each mold. This helps the botanicals settle and prevents floating. Let it thicken slightly, not fully set, just enough to hold. This first layer is like the first crack in an illusion. Subtle, quiet, but undeniable. Step 7. Add the remaining wax. Let the truth rise. Once the first layer grips the ingredients, pour the remaining wax slowly over the top. Like clarity, fill in the space where confusion once lived. Pour with intention, knowing this tool is being built to amplify your sight, not replace it. This is where the melt becomes whole, where ingredients become a vessel, and intention becomes form. Step 8. Let them set. Do not rush the unveiling. Allow the melts to cool naturally. No freezer, no fridge, no rushing. Truth doesn't land through force. It lands through stillness. Once fully cooled, remove them from the molds and store them in an airtight container. They're ready for your next moment of choosing clarity, honesty, and truth. Thanks for watching. If something in this video resonated with you, honoring that with a like helps this work find the people who are meant to see it. And I'd love to hear your reflections in the comments. It's always beautiful to see how these messages land for different people. And by all means, share it with anyone you think might benefit. If you want to keep exploring with me, make sure you're subscribed. I share new videos every week, and each one builds on this journey in its own way. Please never forget, my intent is your ascent. See you next time.